Hey!
We're singing a song! And you are here on the Golden Gate TV. And you are here with Dan, Michael, and May. And we are here on a Polk Street. Oh, while the freaks of San Francisco meet under the Golden Gate. Under the Golden Gate. Under the Golden Gate. Under the Golden Gate. Golden Gate TV. Woo, yeah, baby, yeah, here we are. And guess where we are? We are under the Golden Gate.
Woo! I am DJ Jake.
What's going on?
We have some weird
it's
going on.
It's actually the delayed picture. So close the just close the computer.
All right,
there we go. It's over.
We have a live feed of a live feed of a live feed.
So
of a
meta,
live
I
feed.
can't take it.
Isn't that crazy? Technology is infecting.
Technically, if that had stayed open for another 5 minutes, we would have been sucked into a wormhole and never heard again. So actually, Philippe just saved society as we know it.
Woo!
Yay.
Yeah, it's called. That's right.
So anyway.
Yes. We're here with a special guest, Michael Soldier. Right?
Hello.
And of course, I'm DJ Dave, and that's Maria Connor.
Hello. Wow. Michael has graced our studio to talk all about the crazy life that he lives. A little bit straight, a little bit kinky, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Well, I mean, in reality, in my opinion, you're kind of the San Francisco Renaissance man. Because of
And woman.
And woman and everything in between.
Yeah.
That, you know, I mean, you're almost kind of like the Rita Moreno of San Francisco in a way.
Oh, that's so
because
nice.
you've
Hey, you guys!
Yeah.
you've conquered so many different areas of this of the San Francisco society. But, you know, and like right now, you're on the verge of doing this big show about Phil Andros or Samuel Stewart.
Yes.
For and tell us a little bit about that.
And that's this show here, right?
It's this
This
show.
show, yes. Homophile.
Let's start there and go from there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Homophile, we workshopped this show about a year and a half ago at Counterpulse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really well received, and so we got funding and grants for a full production.
Lovely.
And so we're in the middle of putting that together now, and it opens on May 30th at Counterpulse. It runs till June 15th. And it's a story of a queer pioneer that, you know, has previously been sort of overlooked.
And in reality, he's kind of like Giant.
He's amazing.
Especially in the level of his contributions to the bondage S&M scene.
Well, he was
the leather scene.
He's kind of one of those Zelig figures that was everywhere all the time with everyone, literally, like sexually, because.
And he has stories, right?
Yeah, well, one of the most interesting things about him is that he kept records called the stud files. So everyone that he ever hooked up with,
he wrote notes about.
He wrote notes about.
Straight, queer, bi, everything.
Yes, everything.
Including J. Edgar Hoover.
I don't think he's on the list, but we did have Rudolph Valentino, Thornton Wilder, the photographer George Platt Lyons. He hooked up with all of these amazing famous people, and it was all underground because nobody was really out. Right. And then he also, because he was an English professor and a writer, was friends with Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas. And that was like the whole Picasso era scene. And then he became a tattoo artist and became, eventually it was Oakland, but it was in Chicago. And then that made him a queer pioneer in that sense. And he mentored some of the biggest names in tattooing.
And he was a tattoo artist for the Hells Angels.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why he ended up getting out of the tattoo business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he sleep with any of them?
I don't think so, but there are records. And then on top of that, he also, God, there's so many things.
I know.
And what's his name?
Oh, and then he became the porn author Phil Andros later in his life when he lived here, when he lived in Oakland.
Wow.
And so he was like one of the most important contributors to porn fiction because he was one of the first people who didn't pathologize homosexuality. He actually just wrote it as like hot porn instead of like, you know, back in the days of Pulp Fiction, they would always like, everybody got drunk and killed themselves because they were gay. But meanwhile, you could jerk off before you got to that part.
Right, you got all the dirty stuff, and then they got punished in the end. And
I mean, even straight people veer over into queer porn after a while because it gets boring, you know?
Or do they?
Well, yeah, take it
I
from
wouldn't
me. I'm sort of the ambassador between the two worlds, you know? You know?
Like a gateway.
Yeah. But let me put it this way, it's a lot more fun if you got flexibility.
Well, and also Phil Andros or Samuel Stewart was best friends with Kinsey, Alfred Kinsey.
Yeah, I'm playing Gertrude Stein and Alfred Kinsey in this show. Which
I
is
saw
so
that.
perfect for me. It's insane.
Wow, it's great. And I saw some of the previews from last year, and it really reminded me of what it was like to be in high school. And you're like, I want to check some of this shit out,
Yeah.
but I'm like afraid that like my teachers and everybody's gonna, think I'm queer or whatever. And like, damn well, everybody else is probably thinking the same.
Yeah,
thing.
well, I think he died in like '93, but he was born in '09, and so he was like really active all during the time when you could be put in prison or murdered or whatever.
Yeah.
Most likely if you were out. So he had such an incredibly rich experience.
Yeah.
And didn't give up anything and never was really fully out. So he's really an important figure in queer history.
I feel like at some point HBO needs to do like a 5-part miniseries on his life alone, because in a lot of ways it reflects so much about the burgeoning gay existence, period.
Yes.
Yeah, and I look at it from the point of view of being an ambassador between the two worlds.
Yes.
Is that if you can protect queer people from doing these sort of things, almost like a Larry Flynn kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you'll protect me, you'll protect anybody. Like
Exactly.
exactly. I don't want to like do everything they tell me to do. And my God, you're all the queer world is spearheading that diversity, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Well, I mean, Sam, like he had so many partners, but one of his regular partners was a woman named Emmy Curtis.
Yeah.
And so she's a figure in the show as well. So I mean, nobody is you can't categorize or stereotype anyone. I mean, this amazing queer pioneer who had sex with all these amazing famous people and made all these contributions had a long-term relationship with a straight woman.
Nice.
Sexual.
Exactly.
I mean, it's sexy.
So you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah, that's right. And you've done all kinds of things. But I mean, you were telling me that when you first moved here, within that first year, there were 3 seminal things that happened. You became Miss Tranny Shack. You started it with a band. And what was the third one? Tell us about that first year here.
Well, I'm from New York originally. I moved to Provincetown for 4.5 years. I needed to move to a big city again so that I could start doing the things that you can only do in a big city with enough people to play with.
Yeah.
So when I got here, 4 months after I moved here, I had to get sober because I was a mess from living in a small little resort town for 4.5 years.
Too much indoor activity.
So after 4 months, I got sober, and then I ended up starting this band with a bunch of friends, Pepper Spray, which is the premier drag queen punk rock band in San Francisco. It still is, even when we're on hiatus.
Really? Yes, that's one of the Pepper Spray girls. Yeah.
So in that band, I'm known as Precious Moments. And then I also I won the Miss Tranny Shack pageant 2001.
Yeah.
And then started a porn career as well.
Nice.
And did that for about 5-6 years.
Tell us about the porn.
Well, you got to ask me a question.
Well, my question is okay, it's your first day on the set, and if you're doing a porn, I mean, are you scared? Are you worried? Are you worried you're going to not get an erection? Or are you horny? Are you excited?
Yes, all
at once.
All of those.
Nice.
Well, it was funny because I kind of went into it just thinking like, I wonder if I could do that too, and I was so like mesmerized by porn since I was a kid. It was like the only criminal activity as a child was stealing porn from wherever I could get it.
So you didn't
whether I was babysitting at people's houses or stealing from newsstands or whatever. So eventually I just wanted to be a part of it, and I already was an actor, and I've been a massage therapist for all of my life since college is over. I went back to massage school, so. Of course I was good at it. I had like all the best training that I could have, but I didn't go into it knowing that.
So you weren't doing it for the money, you were doing it for the experience.
For the experience.
You put it on your resume or just have fun?
Just to see if I could do it.
Nice.
And also because it was a sort of a fantasy thing. Yeah. But it was totally weird because the first movie that I did for a company that I had never heard of and didn't really think anything would get seen. And so it was a small company called Factory Video.
Yeah.
And it was a movie that was an armpit fetish movie, and I don't have an armpit fetish, but I'm a good actor.
Yeah, exactly. You can get into that.
So I showed up to do this scene, and the guy who had recruited me at the gym to do this movie showed up, and he was kind of worn out and left over after a busy weekend.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to top, and he was kind of strung out, and it wasn't good. So I ended up going from being like complete virgin to the porn world to like totally dominating the scene because of necessity.
Because you were new.
Something had to get done, so I was the top, and I had to, lead the whole armpit fetish. So I used all my improv training, like, fuck that pit, and anything I could think of with an armpit that was dirty, I said, and it ended up getting nominated for Best Specialty Video.
Yeah, you won an award, like.
Well, that's the first movie I ever did. It got nominated for Best Specialty Video, and they put my face on the cover like this. Look at my armpit.
Nice.
And
hairy armpits or shaved armpits?
My armpit. Oh, I didn't. No, I wasn't. I shaved for Tranny Shack pageant, but no, I'm not that committed.
It's a drag thing.
Look at Andrew.
So, right?
The straight guy.
So they named the movie Rank, And somehow this movie got so much attention. It was everywhere immediately. And I was like, lesson learned, if you're the kind of person who asks for a lot of attention in public, you can't control how and when it's going to come. Because that movie was everywhere.
Oh my God! So your idea of not being under the radar didn't quite work out.
No, I didn't think anybody was going to see an armpit fetish movie for a company that I had never heard of.
So did you
So then all of a sudden you were a star.
So all of a sudden I was on the radar.
So when you're on the radar,
star.
does that mean when you're walking down the street, people recognize you, or people
Yes,
send you emails?
you're that guy from the armpit fetish video,
Really?
which is the weirdest thing that
I think that qualifies as a star. I don't know.
Is it easier to hook up and have sex after that, or?
If you like armpits, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Well, I mean, you know, after that I worked for Raging Stallion Video in the office, and I was doing a lot of grip work. My primary idea was that I wanted to learn film and video. I had done a lot of theater, but I wanted to learn film and video.
Right.
So I was like, well, the easiest, best way to do it without having to go back to school is to like do it at a porn company.
They paid.
So eventually they said, you know, we're doing this scene in Palm Springs. Do you want to go away with us for the trip? And you could PA, but we also was wondering if we were wondering if you wanted to be in the movie too. And I was like, really? How much does it pay? Sounds good. What kind of movie is it? Sounds good. What's the name of the movie? Raiders of the Lost Arse. And I was like, oh, that's so fake.
Who comes up with these names? These are great names.
It's so perfect. It was so fake fancy, and with my like legit theater background, I was like, Raiders of the Lost Arse. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Okay, I'm in. So I did that movie, and that was the biggest movie of the year for that company. And then after that, I was an exclusive immediately and did a ton of movies and won some awards and stuff too.
Wow, like what is the kinkiest thing you've ever done?
For a movie?
Yeah.
My favorite scene that I ever did was really kinky because it had no script, and we basically role played for like the entire day. And it was my Jodie Foster movie. It was for Cops Gone Bad became the title of it.
You went.
And that one won Best Sex Scene.
Yeah.
And basically we role played that I always call the character implied straight jogger. I didn't have a name. And so I was basically taken captive by a police officer in an SUV. He ran me off the road while I was jogging in the woods in Guerneville, which of course you don't know where it was, but everything's Chicago. and then it became a whole domination scene where I had to just basically role play. I mean, it was so much fun because in my head I was straight the whole time, and I had never had any gay sex.
Nice.
So like when the cop forced me to lick his boots, I looked at him like he was an idiot. Like, what are you, retarded?
That's an actor.
Give me a minute. Like,
the gay guy played a straight guy for the first time. Nice.
But I went so far, and we were so deep into it. And Chris Steele, my co-star, was also somebody with a lot of legit like acting and writing work. So we could role play anything together. And it was so much fun. Oh my god.
So is that what makes a scene hot?
That was
in your opinion?
That was incredibly hot because the actor brain and the porno piggy brain were both totally engaged.
Right.
Totally engaged. So by the end of it, like I got to role play. You know, we weren't being directed really. I got to role play that I was getting fucked for the first time, and he was making me like it, and so I like brought tears to my eyes, and I was like, "You're fucking queering me, aren't you? You're making me queer," and it was like so deep and intense and really fun.
This is like a porn movie with substance. With a story.
It ended up being like the final edit ended up being like 40 minutes long, which is like twice as long as a normal porno because it's like kind of a mini feature.
Right.
With no script, we just improv the whole thing, and it's
oh my god! I bet you women love that shit.
Oh my god, lesbians love my porn.
Yeah.
They do. They tell me all the time, and I get like email and shit.
Well, how does it feel? I mean, how long does it take before shooting porn gets boring or it becomes routine? How many years?
Well, what happened with me is because I have a lot of directing background too.
Yeah.
Eventually the novelty started to wear off, and then like you're in the middle of it and you're thinking, this one's for that trip to Rome, this one's for the trip to Rome. Or the worst thing that happened was like, you're like this, you're like, okay, you're in the middle of it, you're in the middle of something, and you're like, oh, that light's in the wrong spot. I know that light's in the wrong spot, we're gonna have to move that fucking light. Should I tell them? No, I'm in the middle of having sex with someone who's so rude to interrupt the sex to say, that light's not gonna be. So then you keep doing it, you keep doing it, and then eventually somebody says, you know what, we're gonna have to reshoot that part again because that light needs to be gone. And you're like, I knew it. But then interrupted. So then my brain wasn't in the sex as much.
And
I was like,
that's a problem.
So luckily I had enough other work going on that outside of porn, other theater and film and music stuff going on that I was like, it just faded out. I never claimed retirement because I always say if you claim retirement, it's the surest way to end up in a fisting movie by the weekend. It's like, just
Words
claim
to live
retirement,
by.
and, and I never have been fisted because you have to save something for the wedding.
It's a good way of
You're
looking at
right.
it.
Gotta save something. You have to save
So
something.
that would be your
Please, save something.
honey, it's the wedding night. Oh, get the fisting glove
It's the
out.
only thing I have left, yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know either.
I actually fisted a pussy. Yes.
I'm
You heard it
so
here, folks.
shocked.
Yes, I actually
I'm
went
so
to,
shocked.
I went down to Trinity. I went down to Dima's and I
It doesn't count when you're being born.
Oh no. It was I couldn't get my thumb in there.
Oh.
And she actually, I knew I was in trouble when she pulled out the green rubber gloves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because they were green, they didn't match your outfit.
I wanted to cuddle. I wanted to cuddle, and she wanted me to fist her.
You can still cuddle.
I know.
Afterwards.
Oh, darling.
You just have to get the right position.
Exactly. Everything's doable at some point.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, that is great. And then, but, so what? So you also do drag. What is the difference between when you're performing on stage in your mind about doing drag and
Because
porn?
what led you to think,
Yeah.
I want to do drag?
Yeah. How did you
You're
get
like,
from porn to drag?
I want to do that.
Oh no, you did drag first, right?
Yeah, first.
Well, yeah, by the time I was in art school in Brooklyn, and my neighbor was Mona Foote, and she was an upcoming superstar in the East Village scene in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm.
She was fucking brilliant, so much fun. So I was exposed to all this like amazing drag right before the drag explosion in New York that happened around 90, 92.
Mm.
And I just wanted to be a part of it because I was already a performer, and it was like a really great way to practice improv skills, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And you know, I just.
Well, the training shack scene was really fun. It was very anarchic.
That was going on here. So basically, I did it in New York, and then I moved to Provincetown. I did the same sort of scene in Provincetown, and then I moved to San Francisco. And Tranny Shack was, you know, having its sort of second peak period when I started.
So when would that be?
I moved here the end of 2000. I won Miss Tranny Shack 2001, which is the end of 2001. So, yeah.
What was your number?
What was my drag?
What did you win Miss Training Shack with?
Well, I was a porn star at the time, and I was just like kind of really on a roll with that whole thing. So I decided to do this number. I had it was like a 12-minute piece, and it had a whole video, and it was all based on the idea of Gloria. So it had little snippets and samples of Gloria. I think they got your number, Gloria, and Gloria in Excelsis Deo. And
the disco song, not the Doors song, the disco one.
Gloria?
Gloria.
Laura Branigan.
Yeah, Laura Branigan.
Laura Branigan.
Yeah.
But the meat of it was Patti Smith's Jesus died for somebody's sins but not mine. So it was a sexorcism number. And so basically I had 3 lesbians dressed as priests. They all had strap-ons. They all fucked me live on stage while I was the cave girl missionary, you know, victim of the missionary movement.
Yes.
And they all fucked me live on stage.
The straight guys getting,
Yeah.
But that's
Nobody knew about it either beforehand.
Yeah, it was legendary.
And you know, yeah, it was Lee Crow, Laurie Bushman, and Electro the Pop and Lock King. So I got like the 3 most fabulous dykes in town to all fuck me live on stage dressed as priests.
You deserve to win for just, you know, God. That is, and how does drag change since then? Any noticeable changes?
I think the most interesting thing that's happening is like how normal it is now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so normal.
The RuPaul's drag show is really.
Well, I mean, yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race is kind of making drag queens the Bratz dolls of this decade. They're a little like little. I mean, we're safe for little girls, you know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, but a lot of them are.
Well, even when we were doing our drag bus, you know, we go out and we're doing these numbers, and luckily everybody's doing, you know, pretty PG rated stuff because people are just pushing their kids up in strollers to watch. Yeah. When there was one point you could have been arrested for doing that on the street.
Yes.
Not that long ago.
It used to feel really dangerous, but
or you would be considered like a pervert on the street. Oh my God, a man dressed like a woman.
Well, now the idea of being a pervert isn't as scary to a lot of people. Of course, it depends on where you are,
That's
but it's
true
because
as well.
of the internet. But you know, you get desensitized.
Well, speaking of that, what is your take on modern porn today when everybody's like, you know, filming their own Wahoo and Boohoo and doing all kinds of stuff and posting it everywhere? I feel
really lucky that I decided to do the porn when I did because it was the last time people got paid a decent amount of money.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because hardly anybody's getting paid anything anymore because the internet has, and there's hardly any stigma attached to it in a lot of cultures. So that if you want to do porn, you're not that special if you're one of the people who's willing to get filmed, get fucking.
Yeah.
It's not that special, so the pay rate's lower, and the companies aren't making as much money because people are getting so much free porn.
Yeah. And then again, people are doing it on there with themselves.
And everybody is porn.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, if you have a scruff profile, you're already like getting good at like
unless you had a kink.com and you have all that equipment like cages and you know, and fancy rooms. Like maybe that gets a little bit of money.
Well, and you know that probably is why they're maintaining more, because I think that is especially boutique item that people can't.
Aren't
do
they
as
moving to
much.
Vegas?
Well, that hasn't been decided yet. It depends on whether or not they pass that odd law where you have to wear
it's
goggles if you're
absurd.
going to be in a sex
There's
act.
something behind that.
I
you
mean,
know?
let's see a show of hands to anybody that has worn goggles during sex.
Once
On purpose
maybe.
or because you had to?
Well, because
It was a fetish.
well, then that's
That
where it
lasted
belongs.
once. That's
Oh
like,
yeah,
no,
you like
fuck it.
those goggles.
That's where it belongs.
Well,
It's
but
very strange.
yeah, I mean, after,
Goggles, really?
yeah, it's just like after you go through this fun life, you know, that you're living, and you're sitting here at this point. What do you do to thrill yourself anymore?
Yeah, what's
do you,
on-
do you just relax and be Buddhist, or is there still things you wish you could do, kinky things, or what's it like to be on this end? You know?
I just do more of the same and just keep challenging myself and just
Yeah.
finding new ways of doing what I don't know. There's only a couple of things that I'm really, really interested in doing, so I do them as much as I can. Hopefully,
Yeah.
there'll be money involved somewhere, and you know, to help pay the rent because I'm spending a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
So basically, I just find every variation I can. So it's, you know, the acting, something physical, sexy stuff. I mean, the play that I'm doing, this Homophile thing, incorporates all of the physical stuff. It incorporates all of the queer history that's so fascinating to me. I'm playing a woman, I'm playing a man, I'm playing sailors, I'm playing. I mean,
Nice.
it's everything all in one show.
That's true.
And then also, I just took a fun little side job. The guys from Factory Video, the first movie I
that's
ever
right.
did, opened up a new sex club
Now,
called
what's it called?
The Brig, and brigsf.com. And so it's a play space. And so when I saw on Facebook that they were opening the space, I said, "Do you want any help with like painting and like getting the space together and whatever?" They said, "No, but we need somebody we trust to do the door." I was like, all right. So on
Okay.
Mondays when I'm not in rehearsal or not doing shows, I work the Naked Mondays party.
Yeah.
I work the door. And so then I'm guaranteed to have like every Monday night I have an outlet.
Yeah.
So it's,
And you get to peruse them all as they first come in.
Of course.
It's fun stuff. Well, have you ever converted a straight guy?
Is that even possible, really?
I mean, is there
Is
such
it even
thing?
possible? Maybe open the door.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's like vacation time, but
You push them over the edge.
Listen, I've been a massage therapist for 23 years, and up until about a year ago, when I moved to a new massage studio space where I am not going to be doing sensual massage, I don't do it there anymore. I always did erotic massage and therapeutic massage,
Yeah.
which means that I have been so many people's first experiences that it's really amazing.
Wow. You know.
Very honored position to be in, like to be the first person that somebody who's looking for that kind of an
So
experience
I
gets a
mean,
chance to trust
yeah,
them.
it's like, oh, there's things, and I wonder, like they say only 10% of men are queer. I mean, realistically, how many are curious? Is it like another 50%? You know,
Depends. Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
50.
yeah.
I don't think it's another 3%. I think it's in the double digits.
It's
Yeah.
At least there's interest, and again, a lot of it is that gray area, and a lot of the misconceived, people against homosexuality and all that stuff is usually people, that at some point they made the decision to be what they're doing, and so what you're doing is on that other side they don't want to acknowledge, and that makes them uncomfortable. And that,
Yeah.
Well, I think, depends
it'll
on
change, hopefully.
depends on where you are. Like, depends on what kind of opportunities you have to experiment in a way that feels safe and doesn't have so much baggage attached to it.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity, why wouldn't you experience everything?
Yeah, this is a great
It's true.
thing to do.
And this is, and in San Francisco, we're lucky.
We're not lucky. We made it this way, and we
That's
keep
what
it
we
this way
worked
the
for.
best
We
we
worked
can.
for it,
And we
baby.
moved here and paid too much rent to stay
Well,
here,
you're right.
so that we have the opportunity to be in a
To
place
be,
That's right.
that is
You're
as
right.
close to like idyllic and normal.
So we earned.
should
Yeah,
be
you're
able to
right.
have.
So-
We earned.
This
That's
is
right.
This is as good as it's going to get for most of us.
I like that. So speak to the audience in words of advice.
Don't fuck it up. Keep it the way it is. Keep contributing. Don't just complain.
That's right. And make your way. Make your life. Don't fall into it. Make it happen.
Yes.
Make it happen.
Make it what you need, and just be kind to other people.
Yes, and tickets for the show at Counterpulse.
Counterpulse.
Yeah.
Yes, Counterpulse.
Homophile.
Counterpulse.org for tickets. The show is called Homophile, and it's a really amazing multimedia. There's shadow puppets fucking each other.
No, I saw the
There's-
preview.
I mean,
It's
it's
really
amazing.
interesting.
It's like
things are
there's-
spinning off the ceiling.
Yeah, it's a total multimedia,
Oh my God.
interdisciplinary extravaganza based on one of the most interesting, people you'll ever hear about.
Well, I think you're one of the most interesting.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And you
All the
are
things you do.
absolutely.
We're so glad you came and
Yeah.
spent a little time with us.
Thanks for
and
having me, and
Hopefully,
thanks-
let's do some more
Thanks
later.
for giving me the chance to plug Homophile.
Oh my God, you are an
Homophile.
inspiration for fabulosity, courage, and having
Exactly.
fun and making the most out of life. Mwah. Mwah.
I love
Here's
it.
Michael Soldier.
All right, Michael Soldier. Usher the All right. Woo!
So awesome. Okay.
All right. We'll be back. All right. Fabulous.
That was great.
We got about
Yeah.
Welcome back, DJ Day. This is Under the Gate Live. Joined her with, of course, my co-host, Marie Connor. We have another guest tonight, and that is Philip Wang. Welcome.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh, good. Nervousness is good. Uncut.
I just do the whole interview like this.
So,
We're gonna fight. People are gonna be. You're afraid that people are gonna find out that you have a heart.
so most of the stuff that I've seen you done is your YouTube channel, in which you go around
Why?
in public
Why
and
would
have
someone do
these
that?
have these ideas that you go out and play around, and a lot of people don't get them.
Why would
They're
someone
really
sing Rock and Roll Nigger in the Trader Joe's of Emeryville?
funny. Indeed, why would they?
What?
Yeah, you're trying to get something out of people here, right?
The one that got me was
Yeah.
the one where you were doing the Come On Uganda.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it was
please
like, come
do
on,
come on,
Uganda, but it was
Uganda.
like, please come on, and you're getting people to throw
Come.
lotion onto the, and you
Yeah.
gotta see it, it's hysterical.
For the anti-gay, because they have this
Got
anti-gay
dollar
law.
store lotion.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Well, you're making
It
a
is
statement.
Uganda.
Yeah.
You're making a statement because they have a gay law there. What's happening over in Uganda that you make?
They're just fucking crazy. And
Yeah.
you know, this whole... So there's a relationship in Africa between these sort of very anti-gay nations, and it's half of Africa at this point. But there are also countries that happen to have had a history of Western colonization. Isn't that interesting? It's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
So a bunch of, not even a bunch, like a few American Christian evangelists
You're right, help them right there.
went to Uganda to stir up all of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of wasn't there before. I mean,
No.
or at least it wasn't at the level it was before, but they went and stirred up this shit. So Uganda, you know, up to, I think, a year and a half ago, was going to execute its homosexuals.
Right.
And you could, and you know, the world went crazy, and now, okay, so they had to back up on that. So now it's just life imprisonment. And you can get imprisoned in Uganda, not even for having gay sex, but for having the intent to have gay sex.
Oh,
And if you
Okay.
stand
even
up,
rubbers.
now,
Like, that would
how
be-
can you prove intent, right?
Watching a porn video can be intent, I suppose.
Yeah,
Right?
and if you stand up as a heterosexual for a gay relative or friend, you also get a jail sentence.
Well, you know, this is crazy. The way I look at it is if they have Western influence, that means they're using the gay thing for political purposes to distract the population from what's really going on. I mean, what is really going on here? You know? Like, you know, it's probably something like that. So it's like, you know, you're making a statement, right?
Yeah, I'm making a statement.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just don't know the extent to which this fucked upness is happening. It's still in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I mean, I said Midwest. I meant the Middle East. I think another nation just passed a similar law in the Middle East. It's
Holy
just
so.
it's 2014.
Yeah, it's
What
like, you
the
know,
fuck are we doing?
get over it. It's the friggin' it. I mean, and it sounds like a lot of the videos.
I mean, what in Uganda, 98% of the population supports the law or some shit like that.
Because
Can
they're
you
afraid.
imagine
Because they're-
98% of the population? What kind of fucking hell is that?
Yeah.
What kind of fucking hell is that? to
Yeah,
live in?
pretty terrible.
And there's a phenomenon in Africa of this thing called corrective rape, which is where straight men
Mm.
go after lesbians and rape them
to help them see the way.
to help them see the way. But frequently, what happens is, oops, they've raped them. Oops, we're also going to now kill you.
Kill
Right?
the lesbians?
Kill the
for-
lesbian.
For speaking out.
No, not even just after the rape.
Oh, just
oops,
because-
didn't mean to kill you, but
You're better off dead because
we're so close to killing you, might as well kill you.
So, yeah.
It's just sickening. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
so you're trying to use what? What kind of guerrilla
A
tactics?
short,
What-
yeah, just, you know.
How do you look at the way that
I mean,
you're
I'm not
taking
going
on-
to I'm not going to go to the UN to fucking do this shit. So
Right.
you do what you can, you
Right.
know, and hopefully if you can make people laugh and think a little bit.
Bill, unfortunately, the way things work these days, rather than read the details, they rather, if they see a video like yours, they're going to now
just a
suddenly ask
short-
questions about what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you do have a lot of other videos with commented, right? So it seems like in balls, you're getting kicked in the balls too, right?
A lot of, I
There
like
seems to
getting
be a
kicked
lot
in the
of-
balls.
Yeah.
I just can't help myself. I go,
What's driving all this? You have an obsession
I will
with,
tell
like,
you what's driving all this. It's depression.
Yeah. You're a great comedian.
Chasing the
Depression.
blues away, huh?
Is this a new word for people? Is this a new concept? Sometimes you feel like you're the only depressed person in the world. And
Here's the other comedian cracking up laughing.
is anybody manic depressive here? Like I am. I'm mildly manic, a little manic depressive. You know
Yeah.
the cycles, and it really helps me when I'm in the throes of depression to go out and do something retarded.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody who's awake and
Yeah.
aware would be depressed,
Oh yeah.
right? Look what's
Everyone's
going on.
broke. I work as a lifeguard. I'm not even. I work. I'm
Like,
a
that's how you
lifeguard
make
at
your
the.
money?
That's how I make my money at the YMCA in downtown Berkeley. I'm a lifeguard at the age of 38.
Oh my God.
I make
Wow.
$12
Do you live
an
with
hour.
your, do you live with your mother?
I do. I live in a rent control department, and if that goes, it's all going. That's all I have. Does anybody else doing this? Just hanging on to a fucking
Well,
job
in this city,
until you get fired?
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's like
So that's your that's your outlet is when you go out and do these.
You have to, otherwise it's so depressing.
Right.
To live your life is so depressing. My God.
yeah, you got to. Artists have to express
do
themselves, you know.
something.
Yeah, although I don't get the baby thing. Like you were like doing this thing about feeding a baby, then you had a little infant actually sucking on your nipple.
Well, I like doing videos where
Like,
I
that
go on
part was
awkward
like-
first dates with babies. So whenever I meet a friend with a baby, like I go on an awkward first date. Where
Was
you
it a
know,
real baby? Was this a real baby?
yeah, they're always real babies, like a 1-year-old. I mean, the mom's holding the camera, but I love these, you know, just where you're on one of those dates where you're disclosing too much about your last breakup.
It's like a
And you're a little bit needy, and you're trying to get them back to your apartment for a
Needy
glass of wine.
Sick person. Great artist.
I work with children now, and actually, it's interesting because Monday I'm going to start teaching swimming to 6-month-old children.
Well, there you
6-month-olds.
And they let you after seeing the baby
You're in
videos?
jail.
They
don't know
haven't
about
seen. They haven't seen the videos.
But they might see it.
There was a concern by my boss who has seen my videos, but yeah. So what I have to do for my job is I have to take a 6-month. Now you imagine what a 6-month-old baby looks like. How it's perfect and soft, and then you have to force its head underwater, which is what I get to do. I actually hold the baby. And what you do is you go 1, 2, 3, and you blow on its face. And when you blow on a baby's face, it'll instinctively hold its breath. And then you push its head underwater.
That's what I'm usually doing.
That was very natural for you. And,
That's
is what I do.
that movement.
and with every baby, I'm like, this one's gonna drown. I thought it was the last one, but it's actually going to be this one. But they never do. The babies always come up really happy, so this is what I do for a living.
Wow.
I'm so fascinated by what people do for a fucking living. Like,
true.
listening to your job history. I hope, who else is on? I hope you talk, well, you perform, so you make money from your art. Who makes money from their art? No. You're the heterosexual comedian.
People who sell out.
Is
Right?
that it?
Yeah.
Mostly.
People who get lucky.
People who get lucky, yeah. That's right.
So take us back in time. And so where did you start?
I was a writer. My God, I'm Taiwanese.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I'm Taiwanese. Taiwanese people are traumatized people because we're all refugees.
And you grew up there?
I was raised there, and you know, I'm drunk and talking about Taiwanese history, next to a drag queen, and so
Your mom would be
it's a San
proud.
Francisco moment.
here's the history. I want to give you a little bit of history. So China was not always communist.
Yeah.
There was an official government. By the way, I'm full of Sephora perfume that I'm gonna
nice.
then share on my scarf. That is Eau Sauvage.
Nice.
So fucking, the communists came in and kicked out the official government of China.
That was like Mao?
That was Mao. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Mao, but yeah, it was Mao.
Chiang Kai.
1949.
Mao,
And they kicked out this guy named Chiang Kai-shek.
Yes.
And Chiang Kai-shek took all of his followers on boats and went across the strait to Taiwan,
Formosa.
to Formosa, this little island that had been colonized forever by Japan, and they killed all the natives. They didn't kill
Really?
all. Yeah, there was some, but we don't like that part of the.
But they weren't human, according to that.
But-
yeah.
So, and then we took this over. So my parents were part of, my grandparent, my grandmother, grandfather, my parents were part of that. My dad, I think, was like a 9-month-old on that boat. So they all grew up extremely poor in Taiwan in the late 40s and 50s. And so, you know, now we think of Taiwan as a fairly first world nation, and in fact it is. But boy, it was poor for a really long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I grew up there, and then we moved to the Philippines, where we had a maid for the first time ever. I think she was 12 at the time. I think she really was 12. I remember she got her first period while she was working for us. So what age is that?
How did you know she had a period?
Because it was a big deal in the household.
They talked about it.
But she didn't know what a period was, and my mom thought, it was like a whole crisis in the household.
What do you think when I thought women had periods? I just pretended I wasn't.
She was 14.
I just pretended I didn't. I didn't hear that.
Emotionally block it out.
Anyway, yeah. That's not true. Literally. No, that's not true.
And then listen to this. What is the weirdest place to move from the Philippines to? Name some places.
San Francisco.
No.
San Francisco.
Where's even weirder?
It would be like South Africa?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Ooh.
I moved. One day I was in Manila, and the next day I was in Phoenix, Arizona. And that was my childhood.
That was a wow.
When all the Chinese at that point, this was in the mid-'80s, all the Chinese families, there were maybe 20 families in the whole city, they all owned motels. So we were all motel kids, and me and my brother lived at the Best Western Airport Inn, which is still there in Phoenix. And we were motel kids, and we were, sometimes you check into a seedy hotel and there's some random brown child running around in the back. So that was me and my brother. And
why did you want to go into comedy?
What?
And all this, right?
I didn't. I was a serious writer for a long time.
So you wanted to write about like serious topics?
I was serious. I wrote a lot about grief. I was kind of an emo.
Yeah. But then you realize the only way to get people to pay attention to your writing is to do stuff like coming on.
I never thought comedy was art. I never thought comedy was art. I never thought this was art.
Yeah.
And then I remember I did an open mic night, and my friend was like, "I think you're a comedian," and I was like, "I don't think so."
You scared?
And I was scared, and he said, "Try an open mic night." So this was the first joke. Well, here's the first joke I told. So you don't have to laugh because they didn't laugh.
Tell it!
I was like, so I got an abortion last week. And I don't know, mine was like pretty easy. I don't know how other people's, but mine was pretty easy. I had all this energy after I had my abortion. So I left the clinic and I ran all of these errands. And here's what was fucked up. When I got home, I kind of sort of found a small, perfectly formed hand, smushed on the back of my skirt. And nobody told me. I was so embarrassed. I was on bar. I was at Andronico's. Okay, so and I remember when I said the bit about the hand, the girl in the front row, right there, she just went, "Oh my God."
There's always somebody in the crowd.
Fuck, dude.
You're gonna get the joke.
So after that, I got hooked.
That's what got you.
Well, what's always happens in the audience is a lot of people don't know if to laugh, so they're looking around.
Right, should I be laughing?
And then there's always two retards in the back laughing. And so I call that a 7-10 split in bowling. You split, and there's a 7 and a 10.
You're trying to figure out which one.
You're like, what do you go for at that point? So, yeah.
Wow. Does your mother watch your material?
No, my mother knows none of this.
She doesn't.
None of this.
Does your mother go on YouTube? Does she ever?
I really hope not.
Oh my God.
I cannot know any of this.
So you have to come out to your mother as a comedian.
No,
as that politically incorrect.
No, my mother cannot see.
So what do you want to do with your life? You become big and famous. What do you?
I don't fucking know. Does anybody think of the future and they're excited? Who? Nobody, right? What do you want? Who?
It'll be happy.
Isn't everyone just I'll get through the next 3 months. That's kind of it, right? That's kind of
it's kind of like, once I get rent paid, then I'll think about.
Who? Yeah. The whole. I don't know how you queens live in the city because it's so fucking expensive here. How do you do it in a fucking penthouse? Excuse me.
I have to do certain things during the day which are unpalatable, like working in technology.
Oh, do you? I guess that's where the money is.
Yeah, but something. It's like there are really cool people there, but as the institution, remember, it's not people who are evil; it's institutions that are evil, and ultimately, the desire for profits in stock market is trickling down to the worker. That's really what happens.
Barely,
yeah. But even me, it's like, even in my situation, for everybody, it's like everybody's thinking there's so much noise on the internet. No matter what you do, you're gonna get drowned out by the machine. The machine that I'm part of building. Isn't that weird? That's a weird story.
Fucking depressing.
Say something funny.
No,
I
think it's just all fucking depressing.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. That's why you got to say your brand of humor is more like just laying out some.
Did you ever become an escort?
I did, Michael. I planted that seed in. I was a masseur like Michael.
Really?
I did erotic and kind of therapeutic massage. And
Happy ending kind of thing?
yeah. And here's what I tell new people. Like, I try to usher people into sex work. I like escort because it sounds kind of Mad Men. Like you're in a hotel bar and you're wearing
Hey there, Mr.
you're
Out-of-Town
wearing
Guy.
silk stockings, as opposed to the truth, which is me at 35 having sex on a mattress on the floor in my room. But I love. Here's what I tell people: if you love money and sex, you know, but
Yeah?
you have to genuinely enjoy having sex with 65-year-old white men. Why
Yeah,
Rasa?
yeah, you're right.
Why is that ageism?
I know,
Now,
that's the truth about
now,
the
if you do, wonderful. This is the
Jackpot.
line of work for you.
Jackpot.
And if you don't do it because you have to.
I
It's
know.
not worth faking it every time.
I know, that's the
I
truth.
thought of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I should be charging for this. And I was like, well, what if I charge for it? Then
Do you like older men?
No.
I mean, no. Well, then no.
Yeah, especially in the trans world.
That's where
It's like
therein lies the rub.
No,
Yeah.
I love older men. They were like retired professors, and they would drop off. I had this one client who would drop off his grandkids up the street and come and see me. And why,
God,
Rasa?
it's terrible.
Why? It's there's dignity in this work, and I loved it because I love talking to people. But like your question earlier with Michael about straight men, I had so many straight men with wives at home. And
Really?
Oh,
You
yeah.
converted? What's it like to convert a straight?
I don't think it's convert. I think they're just.
Oh, what's it like to unleash? How would you to unleash? a
Well, I
straight
would
man
interrogate them because I was so curious, and
Nice.
and they would say shit like, "Well, you do stuff like my girlfriend wouldn't do."
Nice.
And now I'm thinking,
Like, fuck me with a penis.
yeah, but I'm thinking like, well, if I can't get a guy to do what I go to a girl, like that makes no sense.
I know
Like,
guys
I'm not
just
sure
are
if I
making me
buy
happy.
that.
Wait a minute. Were you an escort or you were a masseur? It's different.
I did-
I'm a massage therapist who gave hand jobs too.
I did both. Usually, I was so horny anyway. I would just climb on top. I would just
You were
jump their
easy.
bones. I was easy.
Oh,
Okay,
like,
that's
most-
different.
So most of these guys who are straight and were converting, do they want you to suck them or do they want to suck you?
Both.
So they've never
Now,
sucked
here's
your
what
dick
I
before.
found. I also spent a year dressed
Nice.
as a girl.
You spent
Now-
a year dressed as a girl?
Yeah, just in my day. Not. I was trying
Yeah.
to pass, but I dressed. I had long hair, wore earrings. I wore dress.
Look
I wasn't
at
trying to.
you.
I wasn't trying to pass, but I just
You
went
weren't
into
trying
an.
You were pretty.
I was pretty.
So why not take a
And
pic?
man, if you want to get straight dick, dress as a girl for a day. I don't know what all this shit is in the gay community about being butch, and so you can get butch. No, if you want to get butch dick, dress as a girl.
I mean,
And
65-year-old dick or?
I got plenty of young dick, young
Nice.
straight dick, and the thing, and I would always interrogate these guys because they were like, a lot of them were like just suburban dads with
Nice.
kids, and they would play golf on the weekends. And
Ew.
no, it's super interesting.
The
Oh,
golf
yeah.
part.
Super
You know the golf.
interesting.
Oh my God, I lived in the neighborhood.
Yeah, the golf is ew. It's a,
Oh, the golf
it's a,
is-
like, oh.
You know what they do about golf? You hang out with golf people, they talk about their golf game.
Oh.
And they'll just keep talking and talking. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And that was a real disappointment in the trans world. When I had this idea that the trans prostitutes would be like having this just great sex and everything. It's mostly older men, and they're.
Hey, you're not
it's
into
a
that.
job. It's a job. It really is a job. It's a really awful job.
I'll tell you the moment when I learned Providence was on my side.
Hmm.
Here's an inspirational story. I want to just take a moment.
Right. Everybody, channel.
So a few months into my sex work, I woke up one morning, went to take a shower, and I kept getting soap in my right eye. And I was like, "What's going on?" So I went and like toweled off, looked in the mirror, and realized I couldn't close this eye. And in fact, I couldn't operate most of this face. This side of my face was lax. So it's called Bell's palsy,
Yeah, yeah.
and I knew it because I had friends with it, and I had friends who dealt with it for years since they were children. Just half of your face is paralyzed. And I had a client that afternoon. So I went, and it just happens because sometimes people have an infection that damages their nerve, or you hit your head on or something. It can
Yeah.
happen. So I went to my room and I said, "Should I cancel this client?" And he said, "Well, if you don't talk or smile, it's not super noticeable." And I said, "Okay, okay, let's do this. Let's make this happen." So the doorbell rings, and I'm like, "Okay, no talking, no smiling." I do my chakra breathing, get into the moment, and I'm like, "Okay." So I go and open the door, and I go, "Hi," and the guy walks in like fucking this. The dude had a stroke the year before. Now I said somebody up there wants me to be a whore, and I said, "Me too. Look at you. Look at us."
And he appreciated you, yeah.
And he was like a regular client for a while.
Is it hard to suck dick when you're right thing?
You can't form a seal with your mouth.
Oh,
You
so
can suck
you
dick,
stick your
but your
finger in there?
saliva is just.
So you kind of stick your finger in there and go like,
Stupid. You stick a finger. No, you pinch it like that.
Are you working
very
with some?
Shit. That's what I like. If women are in, like, if the dick is too small for women, can't you just pinch the bottom of the vagina?
You're gonna hold the.
Just hold yourself. I mean, don't blame the guy. Like, he didn't choose a small, narrow penis. Like, you take accountability at that point. You know?
Well, you should be a comedian.
So,
Isn't that great? You're just telling the truth. These are like true stories, right? And the best ones.
our vagina is the funniest things in the world. What is your favorite thing? You're the only heterosexual, I'm guessing. What is your favorite thing as a heterosexual? Dewey? What is your favorite thing as a what is your favorite thing about vaginas? Do you want to come on camera?
Putting your penis in it.
But like,
Hey, Andrew, you want to come on over here? Talk.
come on! We want heterosexual.
Come on.
This is all.
Heterosexual representation here.
Let's give a bit of encouragement there, Andrew Roberts.
And he's Australian.
Yes.
Well, yeah. What is your favorite thing about vaginas?
Putting your penis in them.
But like, is that all there is? It's like it's functional. Do you like looking at one?
Nah. But you don't. Would you like looking at? I think that
Yes.
generally things that feel
Yes.
good don't look good, and vice versa.
I think penis. Is that true?
Yeah, man.
Do you eat ass? Do straight men eat girls' asses?
Well, we've had this argument before. If there were bidets, you
What's
know,
a bidet?
it's like water. People shouldn't be using paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
It shoots
Okay.
water up and cleans up.
yeah,
parts.
because like these days, it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay. As soon as you get back to someone's house, the first thing they go for is your asshole.
Is that true for,
That is.
for
Yep.
straight people?
All women want to do
is
these
that
days
true?
is put things in your ass.
Oh.
Especially in this town.
Is that true? We have a heterosexual female. Really? You dive straight for the man's ass
No.
first?
It's like
It's like number 3. Come on camera. You want to come on camera? I love our heterosexuals. Fascinating.
Tag it.
Yeah.
No, you can both stay on camera. We need a
Come
man.
on.
Any two heterosexuals up there. Andrew, get back.
It's our heterosexual panel.
Yeah, Andrew, get up here.
What? Where?
Scoot over.
Yeah.
Scoot over.
Okay, so girls are diving for guys' assholes?
No, guys
So,
are diving for
Veronica,
girls'
okay.
assholes.
Yeah.
Let's not talk until we're all on camera.
Okay.
Okay, you're all.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay?
And was this
It's a
not
heterosexual
happening?
summit.
Is this a fairly new phenomenon?
I'd say probably within the last decade and a half, after the world went from dial-up to having stronger internet connections, guys are a lot different than they were in high school. And I'm sure the average 15-year-old today is more pervy than his father was by the time he was 40.
And are you open
Wow,
to it as a
wonderful.
woman?
Hmm?
Are you open to it as a woman?
Depends on the guy. I mean, there's definitely
Isn't it
stuff.
always?
It does. I mean, that part hasn't changed.
Is that part of your routine? You just dive for the girl's asshole?
Do I go for girls' ass?
Yeah.
I just think it's like how people can tell how hygienic you really are. It's like if you clean a kitchen,
Of wipes.
if a chef wants to check a kitchen, he goes to the back corner of the kitchen first
Go.
and sees if there's filth there, and that's how you tell if a kitchen's clean.
Have you ever gone down on a girl? Have you ever gone on a girl's asshole and there's a cockroach there?
Ah.
Because I would.
If she's got roaches in her
That's a
asshole, I
problem.
think she's got bigger problems or a bigger fetish than you obviously, originally discussed.
And then are you finding guys who just get anal with you?
No, not really. 'Cause that's like that's
so it's still primarily vaginal.
well, it'll be the attempt. In the first hookup, like, hey, do you do this? And sometimes they'll wait until you're buck ass naked and hey, this and like,
They actually ask.
oh yeah,
You ask
What?
or they'll attempt.
If I ask what?
anal first. Do you even ask for permission? You just try it.
Yeah, they just let you know if they're not down. You just sort of start, and it's kind of, you can always tell if someone doesn't want to do want you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of clench up.
Mm-hmm. They
Can you
do.
imagine like love and ass and like lust?
No.
No.
Please say that again. I want to make sure everyone heard
I'm
that.
thinking like vaginal is love and like ass is like more lust.
Vaginal is love,
'Cause you can
ass
have
is
children.
like lust.
Yeah,
Lust
vaginal is like
can't.
easier.
That's a bumper sticker.
That is. Or
Or
a
it's the
t-shirt.
t-shirt, yeah. Under the Golden Gate.
From the gay audience, we have questions for heterosexuals.
Yes.
Anybody else?
I just have to comment on that last one from Maria. Well, if vaginal is love and ass is lust, and you're not having sex with someone with a vagina,
How do you show
Yeah.
well, obviously kissing is love and ass is lust. Because you don't make out with people you don't want to.
No, true.
Have you guys ever had a three-way with someone of the same sex?
Not for most slutty fags.
What's
Not
more
the most
intimate, kissing,
bloody
blowjobs, or intercourse?
Wait, say that
What's
again?
more intimate, kissing, blowjobs, or intercourse?
Kissing, blowjobs, or intercourse? Let's ask.
What's
Let's
more
take a
intimate?
poll.
Why don't we do a little like applause
Straight
thing?
versus queer.
You don't always kiss someone you're fucking. That's true.
Yeah.
It's the kissing.
I think kissing is more
But
intimate.
and I don't mean like all the time. I mean like that's what it is now
Like-
because the sex is so the sex is everywhere because of the internet stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so normal that like holding hands and making out is kind of shocking. When that happens on us, when that happens
Outside of a bar.
up, it's like what?
Yeah.
just
Oh
pretend.
my God, we held hands in the park and we kissed each other.
Like, that's like so
in the
queer.
moonlight.
Like to me, it's like
How-
if I want love, I'm with a woman. If I want lust, I'm with a man.
Well, you're just a pervert.
Well, I think because of the way we are meeting these days on for the gay people Grindr and Scruff, that you're kind of having sex with people first. And if the sex
Then
goes well,
finding about them.
then you go, oh, what's your name? And
Yeah,
but
true.
it's a reverse thing because
That's
back
true.
in the olden days, you had to like go courting and show up and sit with somebody for a few hours
But don't you
before you
think
could
it's
even
still
kiss
that
them.
way for straight people?
Look, there's Tinder.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
Tinder. There's Craigslist. You name
Tinder's
it.
like a
Dating is-
radar. Like who's
Tinder
in your
is
neighborhood?
exactly like Scruff or Grindr.
How many women are on Tinder?
Enough that we're getting entertained at work looking through our friends.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you on Tinder?
Women like to get laid too.
My ex is on Tinder, fucking
Oh.
my friends.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's kind of like molecular thermodynamics. Like how many women, like the male molecules of the hydrogen, the women of the oxygen, like one bonds to the other, and one's the rarity. There's a formula.
Yeah.
It's all physics.
Wow.
How many women do you need to supply men based on their relative attractiveness and
I've never
Well,
been
it's
so
almost like there's no such thing as dating anymore. I mean,
No.
is there
Yeah,
such
nobody's dating.
Going
Nobody's
on a date
dating.
is a rarefied
Another
thing.
heterosexual. You're next anyway. Do you want
Oh yeah.
Huh?
What's dating?
Exactly.
Yeah, what's dating?
What's
What's your
dating?
first date? What do you do on a date? How do you ask somebody on a date?
People
You
outside,
fuck them on the first date.
people outside of this city still have dates. Like this isn't normal. This place.
Do you think it's
San-
unusual?
You think so?
I went back to Australia to a rural country town, and there is still
To
places. where-
Uluru.
Yeah, to Uluru, and that was racist. Yeah, and there are still places where people fall in love and go for a walk in the park,
Hmm.
and then have a coffee, and then see a movie, and then have babies, and then they're happily ever after.
Those are all those people who have the kinkiest
But
shit
did
behind
they
their
date
bedroom doors, though.
first?
What?
But did they date first?
Yeah, they date first.
They
Or
don't,
did they fuck
They
first
don't
and
date.
then get to know each other?
they don't date because the city's too expensive to have babies.
Yeah, so that's
Mhm.
what that's like.
That's
people,
true.
are
Yeah,
short,
that's true.
people are short on time in San Francisco, so anytime they get to spend with someone on an intimate occasion, they just want to do as much as they can as quickly as they can.
Nobody dates in San Francisco because nobody can afford to anymore.
Right.
I know. Hey, for somebody else's lunch? Don't think so.
Yeah, where,
It's just where are we gonna hook
But
up?
then if somebody
Exactly.
wants sugar daddy
Who's-
or-
Cut out the
or-
food,
or-
cut out the
or-
movie,
you
cut out
never had
concert.
anybody take you out for a
Whose
meal?
roommate is
Sex
out of town?
No, it's free, and I worked
Oh,
hard
okay,
to make my
see?
fucking rent.
And where are you gonna have sex because everybody has 5 roommates?
No, I don't. All of us.
You have to do it behind a bush in the street.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that
It's
is
close to
kinda fun.
privacy. Well, I like.
Well, I mean, straight sex is based more on money, and gay sex is based more on lust.
Oh, I completely disagree.
Wait.
I completely
That's a
disagree.
controversial
I've been fucking
claim.
the wrong people then.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
please.
it totally is.
The claim is that heterosexuals are based on money.
That
A
is not.
straight man will not get laid unless he has money.
That's not true.
Do you
What do you call
Oh.
What do you
If
call
there's
a
no money, you
musician?
get laid.
a
Oh.
big deal.
Look
Speak
at-
for yourself.
Shouldn't you say?
Cheetah.
Yeah.
Cheetah
Exactly.
skins.
You need to be able
But
to
look at the
have.
guys in Hemlock. They don't get laid.
You need to have. You need.
Or
to
you
have
have, or you're
sex.
young. Okay, if you're.
But how does someone know you're good at
Women,
sex?
women
Yeah.
fucking tell each other. They're like, I fucked this guy who was really good, and
Here's
then
his
all
card.
their friends
We
fuck
do
him.
too.
Yeah,
Do you
we do
really?
compare, we do compare notes.
word of mouth.
And you like refer?
Oh no, we don't refer to guys. Oh, by the way, here's a girl. You know, that guy is stunning.
No, you
But
brag and you
no,
listen.
we brag, we listen, or if we see somebody at a bar, I'm like, oh girl, check this out. I know. Come here, I need to tell you something about this guy real quick. His dick goes this direction, girl. You would not even believe it. It like goes around.
They're like
oh.
star-nosed moles. Fascinating.
I have told people about freckles. You just lit up like a Christmas tree when you said
What
that.
does all this mean for the future of
I'm still going with star-nosed mole.
What does that mean for the future of the human race? The reproductive cycle that creates our children, that creates the future. What does all this mean?
Well, it's all right. It's all getting cranked up and going in a faster cycle. It's no longer going with these Victorian ideals that you have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's now all breaking down, and we're recreating it because we're able to access people and things so much more.
Well,
We're creating memes, not genes.
but the thing is, it's totally polarizing too. It's getting as completely ridiculous and backward as it possibly can, and then there's the rest of us who are just who are doing things like this for fun.
Yeah.
Like we're having these conversations for fun, and we're not nobody's gonna like take us out back and shoot us like they do in Uganda. So it's like there's that, and then there's this, and then like there's not that much in the middle anymore. But it flip flops back and forth so completely that it doesn't even seem real either way.
Yeah.
So what do we do for Phil, who's like all depressed about the future?
Who's not? I mean, I'm not alone.
I'm totally in with you on that. I always say suicidal ideation is a sign of intelligence.
That's smart.
Well,
that's a bumper.
Yeah.
If you
Thank you. Wow.
Following through is a sign of stupidity, but
ideation is
a sign of intelligence, because if you haven't thought about it,
Yeah.
if you haven't thought about relief, then there's something wrong with you.
Gosh.
Oh my God.
For following through with it, not so much.
Yeah. So why don't you give
This is porn star wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Porn star. 7 years ago. It's ancient history. Yeah, but
close with words of inspiration to children in the audience.
Children in the audience?
Words of
Don't drown
inspiration.
them.
Yeah.
Don't drown them.
I didn't say anything about children in the audience.
I really want to see Michael Angel's armpit. Michael,
What?
show your
Let's see
armpit.
your armpit.
My armpit?
Can we all?
What am I supposed to do?
I want to see this famous armpit,
Was it famous?
and then we'll go out on
Let's
this.
see it. Okay. This is the inspiration. Have fun.
Get a camera. Wait, come here.
I'm not even in camera.
No.
I want you to know I put this shirt on before I remembered I was doing this shit. I don't want to take my hat off. And that terrible habit.
Classic imagery reenacted on our stage. Well, Philip,
Thank you.
for
Thank
making
you. This is so fun.
Truly
Thank
unique
you.
interview.
Heterosexual.
We'll be back with Ross of Italia and a lot more at Under the Golden Gate Live.
Wow.
So welcome back to Under the Golden Gate. We are here with belly dancer, extraordinaire singer, performer, all-round good person, Russa Vitalia, everybody.
Hey! Woo! All right. Yes. All right. And you just came out with a CD.
That's right.
Yes, and it is the two songs I've heard are Rasa Bounce, right?
Yes.
And then the other one is
Make the Quake.
Make the Quake. That's right. Yeah. Right. So must be excited to come out with your new CD. Tell us about it. When's it coming out? What's the music like?
Okay. This is a CD. There's some special little. Can we zoom in?
Yeah, we'll zoom in. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep.
We're gonna have the special centerfold. Woo!
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think I saw that. Let me check it out. Oh, wow, that's cool. Wow, nice.
Yes.
Nice. So you've been a dancer around town for a while.
I have.
And only recently you started getting more into singing and dancing at the same time. So that must be very different.
It is different, but not exactly. I mean, it is a growth from where I am, and it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've always wanted to actually dance to my own music. And I've actually would use everyone's music and fix it. So
yeah.
I finally said, I'm just going to do my own.
Well, it's nice, and it's a very different style because the music that you used to dance to was very sort of, to me, was very sort of Middle Eastern kind of dance. You would click your little things. What are they called? The little things on your fingers?
Finger cymbals.
Finger cymbals, and the sword dance and all this. And now you're getting more into dance music, and it's got a whole different vibe.
Yeah, I actually, my first song was called Be You. And that one is a Middle Eastern electronic dance music.
Yes, that one, yeah.
Performance piece that includes the finger cymbals and the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a belly dancer primarily?
I am a Rasa dancer. So I do belly dance. I do samba.
So does that mean
hip-hop.
Is that your own style?
Yeah.
So you made up your own style of dance?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be shocked.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
It's a big mix, yeah. Because people are confused. They want to put me into a little box. And they say she's this or she's that, and then because I don't do anything that's really traditional in a way, I just decided I'm just going to call it Rasa dance.
Yeah.
I have a big background in a lot of different dance forms: modern, jazz, hip hop, club dance, house music, belly dancing, including Persian, Turkish, Moroccan. We got. Also, Indian Bollywood.
Yeah,
and Kathak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And now when you do
samba too.
Yeah, and I noticed that in the electronic music you can add all these different elements into, and really creates a unique kind of style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about being a stripper? I was just thinking, it's like I'm just saying, like it seems like that would be like you could make money. You know what I mean? Strippers make money.
Sure.
I know strippers who have their own house. I live in a fucking van.
You live in a dream world. Strippers make money.
Strippers make money.
I think it's a straight out answer that kind of question.
And they get free cocaine. It sounds like
they pay. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think they get it bought for them. I've heard that you need to, if you want to hang out with strippers, you need to buy them cocaine.
It's a good start.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, there's different types of dance. I mean, like, there's erotic dancing.
Yeah.
And I know from working with you is that dance to you means more about connecting with the audience, is more of a spiritual type thing, right?
Sure.
Yeah, right, which is very different from.
But it is sensual too.
It is sensual. I mean, how would you when you're up there in your traditional dancing before you started singing? What would you feel when you're up there? And now that you're doing music, does it change your attitude or what you're thinking or feeling?
It gives me more power.
When you're singing.
When I'm singing and doing my own music, because I can do whatever I want. I don't have to go by anybody's rules, because when I did belly dance, they just didn't like me because I didn't go by the rules, even though I did many, 10 years of it, and I would do the traditional stuff. I wasn't a traditionalist. I wasn't going to pass it on, like Ravi Shankar and sitar. No, so.
Yeah. Also, so you can actually design the music or play the, write the song and sing to what you're doing.
I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it you want to say to the audience?
I love you.
Which is a good thing, So
yes.
Do you even love people like Andrew? Like, how do you, so what do you think about
Only when I'm a stripper.
I was just saying, it's like if you're a comedian, you don't have the option to
Oh, I would actually pay for a comedic stripper.
What's that? You would pay?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I should have done. If
Funny
I had my
stripper.
time again, I would go into stripping. Yeah, that's where the
You
money.
would, yeah.
I went and saw Cobbs. Cobbs had the Thunder from Down Under, and they fucking packed that place. No one gives a shit about comedians anymore. It's all naked people dancing.
Yeah.
You just want to see
So
nudity.
you have to mix it.
What's that?
You have to mix the two.
Like I could be a stripper
Naked
comedian.
comedian, yeah.
That's a good idea.
What do you think?
Well, you're not allowed to do it in SF anymore, are you?
Yes, you can. I know.
That's
I'll
fair.
take you there.
At a club,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is it? We'll kind of keep the tie on. I think we found a new market. We found a way to make money doing comedy. I think this is the best idea we've ever had. Anyway,
What's the thing? You
He
want to
thinks about money.
Well,
I'm about to.
You
I'm
think
about,
you're gonna make money off that?
yeah, man. People want to see your stuff, man. That's what's up. People just
They
they're
want
like
to see the stuff.
they're like, yeah, that's a funny joke, but what does your dick look like? That's really what they want to know.
yeah. Well, it's hard making money as an artist. I
Go
mean,
ahead,
like,
show us.
What my dick looks like.
you know, we can. Yeah.
Go get that $20.
Yeah, you're really. You know, somebody will pay. I'll pay you $20.
We'll get you some.
Everybody here will pay you $20 if you play.
Yeah, look at
Not everyone.
Where's
Not
the
everyone.
collecting the
Raise
basket?
some hands.
Where's the basket?
I'll
Raise your
pay $20.
hands.
I'll throw in 20.
There's some head shaking though.
Maybe not.
$100. $100.
This has to
I'll
be on YouTube. We
empty
can't
up.
do it.
Oh, you're right. Well, like I can do it out with the blurring. Oh yeah, it goes on YouTube.
It's live on YouTube.
You're right.
now.
Okay.
It's live.
On to real questions. So what do you think of like you're an erotic dancer, you're a sexy dancer. What do you think is straight guys? Like who do you rather hang out with? Straight guys, lesbians? Like what's it like being in San Francisco with all
Pigs.
Yeah.
I love everybody. I don't have any preference.
Yeah. I like
Really.
that. I like that attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I stand my ground. I know what I want and what I'm doing, and I just go for it. And whoever's around, if they want to come with me, they will. If they don't, well then bye.
That's
See ya.
nice. I like that. I like that attitude. Yeah. And you're a full-time performer. So you're unlike a lot of performers here in the city. They have day jobs, and you've been making it here as a performer for a while. So that must be a fun life,
It's-
hard
well,
work, right?
I work all day and all night. I hardly ever go out to go drinking or having a good time like that.
Yeah.
I guess you don't know. I also draw caricatures at events.
Yes, I do know. Yes.
That's right.
A woman of many talents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're spending a lot of your time out performing, getting in shape, keeping in shape, getting ready for shows.
Yeah.
So when you're home, what do you do to unwind?
I just work on my music or my work.
Yeah.
I have too many ideas going in my head, so I don't really want to.
Yeah, typical artist.
I have
yeah.
sex.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it.
I think Russ, you have a boyfriend, don't you?
I have.
There you go. See?
Okay.
That's what it's about. Hey, I'm asking the real questions here. That's what's up. Or does that ruin the
Our
mistake?
producer wanted to put 2 different types of interviews in here.
I know
too.
I'm mysterious, huh? Like Prince. Actually, Prince and I had the same birthday.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Birth date?
Day.
Birthday.
I'm that
birthday.
old.
Yeah, that's right.
I look that old.
Yeah.
Prince is a Mormon.
Prince is a Mormon.
Now, most people actually,
That's the same thing.
most people as they get older become more religious. I think,
Maybe
It's the way it is. Yeah.
they switch
Yeah.
around.
And you have another project, Booty Machine. Tell us about this Booty Machine project. Is that a project you have coming up?
The Booty Machine is actually what I call the music project. So whoever works with me on the music project is part of the Booty Machine.
Oh,
You know?
so anybody who's been there to help out with your videos or dances with you.
It could be that. If you think of MIA, she's got that DJ in the back, so I'm looking for one of those. So
Yeah.
If anybody's out there that wants to do that with me, where I'll entertain and you do your little thing back there and help me out, and we'll work on it as a team. That's part of the Booty Machine.
Yeah.
But it's not a machine that actually makes booties.
Oh, yes, it does.
It can make a booty.
It'll make your booty shake.
Or a fanny, as they call it here. In America, you can
Or
make a fanny. I just like saying fanny.
Fanny pack.
You're allowed to say fanny here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like working with Andrew? This is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
He's a comedian. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I make sandwiches.
All right. So ask Ross a personal, a question about her art,
About your art.
about the life of an artist.
doesn't have any
Yeah. I saw a picture of you on Facebook in your bikini. That was pretty cool.
You talking about the banana bit?
Did you see the
The
banana?
banana bit was a good bit. Now, that was a fun bit. Tell us about the banana bit. Yeah. Did you see the banana bit?
The banana one is pretty controversial.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it got it's got like 150 likes on it in 2 hours.
How many men and how many women?
I think maybe 80% men, 20% women, maybe a little bit less.
And that was a real, I mean, come on, you're wearing this banana skirt and you're dancing.
Yeah.
I saw you do it at Meow Mix and I've seen you before.
Yeah.
And most of the comments were just really very positive, right?
Yeah, but
what was the controversy? Yeah.
they sent me personal messages,
Yeah.
from England. Oh,
Nice.
goodness, what are you doing? You know.
Really, like
Yeah.
trying to say that you're being too sexy?
Yeah, they tried to block me on Facebook. They blocked me and reported my picture, and they said it was tacky and nasty
know
and
this.
whatever English words they used.
Inappropriate.
Nice.
It was
Inappropriate.
inappropriate.
Did Facebook come after you?
No.
Wow, so these are people that probably liked your photos. Now, why would
Yeah.
they go out of the way to block you?
Because they're ugly.
When they can just literally say, block me, why would they reported you to Facebook? Why would they?
Because they thought that I was being a whore. Or something,
Nice.
Just out of from the pictures.
Were you only wearing bananas?
I was wearing the bananas and I had like some pasties. Yeah.
That's tasteful.
Yeah.
No, they thought it was not tasteful.
I hate Facebook.
So what is it we learned from that? Basically, that some people are just not worth listening to, or that the world has become conservative.
The world is conservative.
Is it really?
Yeah, and we just live in San Francisco, so it's not like that.
That's true. We live in a bubble.
It is a
Right.
bubble.
So what are they doing watching your photo? Why don't they just ignore it?
Because they love it. They just don't want to love it.
Duplicity. We love it.
They love it, but they don't want to. Jesus says no. So just close your eyes.
Nice. And really, your dancing is about celebration, right?
Yeah, it is. It definitely. That's what was in the picture. But people have an issue with that, and I don't know if you know. I'm involved in many different worlds. I work with kids. I work with old people in senior citizen homes.
Yeah.
I have conservative blue collar people and religious people that I work with, and all these different things. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw when you drew a caricature of some women in an old age home.
Yeah.
The joy on their face was
They
fabulous.
loved it.
Yeah. Were you also dancing for them in your?
Oh, they were wanting it.
Wow.
They wanted that.
Well, so they knew. So when you go, have you danced in your full regalia in an old age home?
Yes.
And what is the reaction?
They run after me in their little wheelchairs and try to get.
Nice.
You're like, whoa!
Yeah, these are the men and the women, or just...
Well, the men are usually in the wheelchairs or in the canes, right? Because you got to remember where they're from and what era they're from. It wasn't okay to be gay or anything, and they probably they're really stubborn right now. At this point in their life, they're set in their ways, so they're not going to change. So they try to exude that extra macho maleness and just really come after me. And the women, some of them, they don't like me because they say that I'm being a slut or a whore.
Is that what? How old are these women? I'd love to watch an 80-year-old
90.
woman call someone a slut.
Oh yeah,
You're
But she's
awesome.
like, she's a slut.
Oh, wait a minute, but they knew you were going to be there.
Yeah.
And they just stayed in their rooms?
No, they put them out on purpose so that they.
That's abuse!
Yes, and I love that kind
That's
of.
not fair! I couldn't... Wow.
Yeah.
No, but you know something, they must
suffer. Make them
yeah,
suffer.
They must appreciate
Do
it.
they have like slut night? Is that like one of the nights that they have? Because like they got bingo
That's
night
such a
Monday
good
and then
idea,
Tuesday
yeah.
it's like slut night. I don't like slut.
Only in
night.
San Francisco. You must love living here. What do you love about this city? Everything? Yeah. What do you love about living here? Is it obvious? Or
What do well, San Francisco is one of the places where you can experiment and be who you are and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And push the boundaries, push the limits, and be accepted for being a freak.
Nice.
Oh.
I like that. Yeah. That's right. People should be glad to be able to come here and yeah. You feel optimistic about, we had Philip on there earlier, felt very pessimistic. How does that make you feel? You feel optimistic?
I don't know about pessimistic.
And if you're optimistic, what kind of drugs are you using?
She's depressed.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't take drugs.
Don't take drugs.
I don't.
Yeah, alcohol?
I wanted to tell you that I guess my motto, you asked what you would do about being depressed, and I thought the only answer I could tell you is that you need to keep telling yourself that you are loved, and mostly by yourself first. Don't worry about the other people. That's how I get through it. Fuck everybody.
You're right, nice.
Fuck you.
You're right.
I love myself.
And yeah,
right?
nice.
And then if people want to come near you and love you, you can make a choice, and then.
Yeah.
Hey, but you gotta love yourself first.
Yeah, and that helps you like out there perform as well. It helps you get out there and.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Yeah, yeah. So the secret to being a great performer and working 5 days a week is
not drugs.
Not drugs. That's actually a very good advice. I mean, one of my friends is like, you know, like, dude, like, you're just doing so much stuff, and maybe I need to stop dropping so much acid, you know, to like start performing. I'm like, yeah, that would be a good thing. Yeah. Well, this is great. So, any final thoughts for Russell?
Yeah.
Where do we find you?
Where do we find him?
Where do we find you?
Where do you find me?
Yes.
Everywhere and anywhere.
Anywhere.
In your bedroom.
That's right. And you have coming out once again is you have a CD coming out. This is already available on iTunes.
It's on iTunes and Amazon.
And it's great for dancing and listening and enjoying
feeling
life.
good. This is a drug.
Feeling good. That is a drug you should take.
This is a drug.
And you have a video coming
You
out?
can take drugs while you listen. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
You probably really even enjoy it even more. And then, as when we do the break, why don't you take your drugs? Because we're gonna come back with some really good performance, huh?
That's right. You're gonna dance for us.
It's better
right?
on drugs.
All right. All right. Fabulous. All right. Rock the time. All right. All right.
Good.
Check us out at UTGSF, Twitter, Facebook, Under the Gate, where you get wonderful people like Rasa. Well, come on, girl. Show us some of your gold dancing.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
This is so amazing.
That was it.
This whole moment is amazing.
Huh?
We'll be fixing that editing.
Okay.
Your attention, please. This is a dance resurgency. Move your boot head to the dance floor. Do not delay. I repeat. Do not delay.
My peeps are jumping more and more. Come on now and hit the floor. The beat is pumping, turn you on. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Fire, fire in the house. Everybody's gonna bounce. Say bounce, 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 bounce. All night long, let it bounce. The time is right. Let's keep it real. Bring out that mad shake appeal. Sweet, hot, juicy flavor. Better shake what your mama gave you. Yeah, you disco sluts. You know what's up. Get out there and move your butt and show me what you got. Make the quake. I wanna see that body shake it. I wanna see that booty quake it, baby, 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 work it. Make the quake. I wanna see that body shake it. I wanna see that booty quake it. Pop and drop till you get naked. Quake it, shake it, magnitude always puts me in the mood. Feel that freaky banging music pound, smack that super sexy ass sound. Shake it to the left, shake it to the right, make that quake all through the night. Bounce, 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 bounce. All night now, let it bounce. The time is right, let's keep it real. Bring out that mad shake appeal. Sweet, hot, juicy flavor. Better shake what your mama gave you, yeah. You disco sluts, you know what's up. Get out there and move your butt and show me what you got. Make the quake. I wanna see that body shake it. I wanna see that booty quake it, baby, 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 work it. Make the quake. I wanna see that body shake it. I wanna see that booty quake it. Pop and drop till you get naked. Hey fellas, move aside, let your eyes go for a ride. Come on ladies, hit the floor, do that, make the quake some more. Swing it, bring it, hit it, grind it. Boy, just get behind it. I can't help what I feel inside. Boy, your quake makes you feel alive.
feel the love in your gyration. Hit me deep with resonation. Make that quick acceleration. Bring me that one vibration. Feeling high with exhilaration. Rock the world in celebration. You disco sluts, you know what's up.
Ready? It's the finale, right?
Awesome. I can't with all this smoke room. Well, that was great, Dancer Ross. That was sexy. That was fun. Dance to our own tune. Love it. Can't wait to edit it. And, of course, we had this crazy guy, Philip Wang, on telling us all about his life and, you know, sex, depression, fun, life, the future, you name it. He'll tell you all about it. Philip Wang.
All right.
I'm going to tell you guys a story I told. Have you guys heard of The Moth podcast?
Yeah.
They kind of do storytelling. So I did one of their Moth slams. And I didn't win, but I came in second with this story. So like I talked about earlier, I was born and raised in Taiwan. And I came to the U.S. when I was 9. And every few years, my parents would go back to Taiwan. And they would ask if I wanted to come, and I never did. I just had no interest in going back to Taiwan. Because I wanted to be a part of this country, you know. I wanted to speak the language and be part of the culture. So now I'm 38, and last year my mom asked if I wanted to go to Taiwan. And for the first time in 30 years, I said yes. So I went back and met all of these cousins, aunts I'd never met. My cousins had had children. And I met these generations of people I don't remember. And maybe the last time they saw me was when I was 7 or 8. So they remember me as this child. And I was never really interested in my family history, but I was always curious about one particular story about my grandmother. And she was part of that first generation to cross China and go to Taiwan in 1949. And it wasn't that I sensed a story about my grandmother, it was that I sensed an absence of a story. There was this particular silence about my grandmother and when people talked about her. And so when I went back to Taiwan, I asked my aunt after a night of like late night hanging out, drinking, we were both drunk. And I just broached the subject. I said, I want to know about my grandma, I want to know about grandma, like what happened in 1949. And this is what she told me. In 1949, my grandmother lost her vagina in the Holocaust. And, just picture it, Poland, winter 1939. My grandmother's vagina had actually gone into hiding. There was a vagina curfew in place. But my grandmother's vagina was eventually discovered and reported to the Nazis, and she was exported to the Warsaw Ghetto, and then eventually to Buchenwald, where they told all the vaginas that they were gonna go for a douche. Excuse me. Last summer, I was able to send my vagina to Germany. I wanted to meet the vaginas that had descended from Nazi vaginas. And I went to the Museum of Vagina Tolerance. I don't think you know how many vaginas have been lost till you see the giant pile of tampons. But my vagina was able to, after so many generations, sit down with Nazi vaginas. And it was just our vaginas together, breaking bread. That was lovely. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. It's hard to do that with a straight face. I got to do that at the Contemporary Jewish Museum. I did. Yes, I did. What's that? I have gotten some of that. Yeah, I have gotten some of that. So my friend Mary called the other day. She said, Philip, I'm thinking about getting raped. I said, Mary, isn't that dangerous? I've heard it's just not safe. So of course we look it up on the Yelp, we look up rape of Emeryville, and sure enough it's getting some very mixed reviews. So my friend Mary and I decided to go check it out anyway, And yeah, we got raped. And I don't know how your rape is, but mine was awkward, I guess is the word. Because my rapist, he had cerebral palsy. So it took like 15 minutes to figure out. He wanted me on the floor. And he was fumbling around down there. And, I didn't know if I should help him because, I didn't want to assume he needed help. And then the fucked up thing was his personal attendant just came and raped me for him. I tell you, every audience, there's always one retard in the back laughing. Oh. So we have a saying in my family. We have a saying. Stop it! What are you?
My mom always says horrible people are like snowflakes. They're all white. Oh my God. So my gynecologist is Mexican. And I know what you're thinking, Philip, isn't that dangerous having a Mexican gynecologist? And I say, look, who better to tend to your secret garden than a Mexican? Oh my God, it's horrible up here. It's like the loneliness of the racism. Oh my God, wait, we hit Jews already. Mexicans, we did rape, we did white people. God, do I have an Asian joke? I'll tell a joke I didn't write, but Lisa Lampanelli did. If you blow an Indian guy, do you get diarrhea afterwards? It's horrible. I didn't write that. I think I'm gonna do one more bit and then get out of the stage. I'm gonna do, is anybody here a fan of Bette Midler? The one straight guy? Really? Nobody else? Bette Midler?
Some Bette Midler.
I'm gonna do the closing number from her Oscar-nominated film, The Rose. And if you don't know the story of The Rose, it's an unofficial remake of the Janis Joplin story, where Bette Midler plays a strung-out bisexual rock star on the point of a breakdown. And she finds herself back in her hometown, where she had been ignored and abused. And she was playing a big concert back in her hometown after becoming a star. This was going to be her triumph. And she finds herself barefoot in a telephone booth, sitting in a parking lot of her old high school. And we see her alone in this phone booth. And you see the football field behind her of the local high school where she had been banged on the 50-yard line. That's what she was known for. And she's on the phone trying to see if her mom and dad are going to go to this concert that's starting in an hour. And they're not coming. And she breaks down. She takes out a little baggie and it's full of heroin. So she starts shooting it. Meanwhile, at the Coliseum, the concert is starting. They don't know where the fuck she is. So with her last bit of strength, she puts a coin in the phone and she calls her manager. And a helicopter flies in and takes her to the stadium where she's late for her concert. And she's so weak she has to be carried onto the stage. And they're starting to play her Come On music. And it goes da 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 da. And people are going crazy. And she has to be fucking carried on stage like this because she's fucked up on heroin. But once she gets on stage, she takes everyone's hand away. She starts dancing a little bit. And she kneels and drinks all of this in. And then she says, "I'm sorry I'm late." Do you? Do you forgive me? I forgive you too. Come on, boys. What are you waiting for? Mama's home. Mama's home. And her band starts playing. And she starts saying, where did you go? Where'd you go, baby? Where did you turn to find a shoulder to cry upon, baby? Wasn't I good? Didn't I take good care of you? But oh no, I can't believe you're leaving me. Stay with me, baby. I'm begging you, stay with me, baby. Oh, just stay. I'm just a young woman, and I can still get plenty of men, but honey, keeping them's the hard part, ain't it? Sometimes I look at it and I think, maybe this time I should be the one who goes away, 'cause when's it gonna be my turn for someone to grab hold of me and say, no, no, you can't go. Yes. Well, it's just yay high. My mama used to sing the song to me. Let me call you sweetheart. Where's everybody going?
And that was the Rose. Thank you.
Give it up for Philip Wang reenacting The Rose. I have to go see the movie now. Now I'm gonna go check it out. And that was a brilliant delivery of the soul. You know, right? Wow. How many people saw the movie? I'm gonna check it out. Well, anyway, Philippe Wang, we had a great show, and I think we're all. Philippe, that's Philip Wang. A little bit of smoke in here. We're all intoxicated on joy and substances like cookies and potato chips and things like that. And we're all going to have just another fun night in San Francisco. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We had Ross of Italia. We had Philip Wang. We had Michael Soldier. Andrew Roberts back from Australia. And we're going to go party on Polk Street. Thanks for watching. If you're watching us live, Under the Golden Gate, UDDDSF. That's Twitter and hashtag and all that. And then underthegoldengate.com. So have a great weekend. San Francisco was a fabulous place. Let's help keep it San Francisco. Good night, everybody.